Stephanie White. Stephanie White gets a technical foul. Stephanie White getting a technical foul in the game, which they are up by 23 points. Caitlyn Clark clapping it up. Everybody in the venue, we're clapping it up. Oh, it feels good, folks.
When the Indiana Fever stepped onto the court Thursday night against the Las Vegas Aces, nobody expected what was about to unfold. What started as a regular season game quickly turned into another episode of WNBA referee incompetence, and this time, the whole world was watching.
Tell you, bro, we have another situation dealing with these referees, dog. Now, we know the Indiana Fever pulled out and got the dub yesterday over the Las Vegas Aces, pretty much holding them under 60 points. And I'm here to tell you, dog, that did not come without controversy, bro. We know every single game, the WNBA referees, it's simply a disgrace. And we have another case of that.
The Fever absolutely demolished the Aces 81-54, snapping a brutal 16-game losing streak that had haunted them since 2019. But the real story? The refs tried their best to gift wrap this game for A'ja Wilson and her squad, and it still wasn't enough. What we witnessed was the WNBA's biased officiating finally getting exposed wide open for all to see when the Indiana Fever refused to let corrupt calls determine their fate.
I didn't realize how bad it was until today. I'm not gonna lie. I did not realize how bad it was until today. Like, I was seeing constant tweets put out over the last day, and even some of them where it was like, it's mostly the one where Stephanie White ended up having to get teed up, where it was like, it was literally like the rules of basketball were being changed.
First, let's talk about the elephant in the room, A'ja Wilson's special whistle. Throughout the entire game, Wilson was getting calls that would make even the most generous referee blush. The MVP treatment was on full display as she made 13 trips to the foul line. That's only 4 fewer than the entire Indiana Fever roster. Think about that for a second. One player got nearly as many free throw attempts as an entire team. If that doesn't scream favoritism, I don't know what does.
The only player to show up, well, the only players to show up for the Las Vegas Aces was A'ja Wilson, the WNBA referees, and Kathy Engelbert. Now, why Kathy Engelbert, the commissioner? Because, well, she won't do anything about the officiating in this league. And it's kind of funny. I seem to remember some players talking about a special whistle last year? Question mark. The only player that I could see that's truly got a special whistle is A'ja Wilson. My God. You're never beating these allegations. No wonder you put up whatever it is, 23 points a game, 25 points a game.
During the third quarter, we witnessed what fans are calling the most blatant example of referee bias in recent memory. Lexi Hull had successfully boxed out Wilson and grabbed a defensive rebound. A textbook basketball play that happens dozens of times every game. But Wilson, not content with being outplayed, decided to grapple Hull from behind, literally jumping on top of her and trying to snatch the ball away.
This ref is a disgrace to the uniform. This right in front of here. Right in front of her, bro. At what point do we consider and study bias in referees? Many Fever fans were not happy when they seen this. When they seen she was refereeing. So I'm guessing this referee has been dropping the ball. Watch this, guys.
Time down, the drive gets inside, floats it up, shot won't fall. Wilson, what looks like over the back. But jump ball is...
Literally, Sophie wanted an over-the-back call for Wilson.
Any competent referee would have called this what it was, a clear over-the-back foul on Wilson. Instead, these corrupt officials had the audacity to call it a jump ball. Even the broadcasters couldn't hide their shock at this ridiculous call. Fans on social media exploded with outrage, with one writing, "A'ja Wilson is the most privileged player in the WNBA. This is textbook over-the-back on Lexi Hull. But the league loves A'ja and the Aces, so the refs call a jump ball."
29 points, a huge game from A'ja Wilson. The rest of her team didn't show up. 13 foul shots. She had 13 foul attempts. Look at the rest of the team. They didn't. And nobody on the... Are you kidding me? When it comes to the Indiana Fever, the referees are looking in the opposite direction. Nobody had more than 4 foul attempts. A'ja Wilson, 11 of 13. No wonder she scored 29 points.
If you are enjoying, please subscribe. What we're seeing here isn't just bad officiating, it's a systematic pattern of protecting certain players while targeting others. The WNBA has created a 2-tiered system where players like A'ja Wilson can do whatever they want on the court without consequence, while teams like the Indiana Fever have to overcome both their opponents and the referee. Wilson was quite literally grappling with Hull, making contact from behind in a way that would result in an immediate foul call if any other player did it. But because it's the league's golden child, suddenly the rules don't apply. The message is clear. If you're the MVP, you get to play by different rules than everyone else. The frustration wasn't just from Fever fans alone. Basketball fans across the league recognize the blatant double standard.
Is on the end line. And by the way, it was a soft foul, but it was a foul. So Michaela Timpson is on the sideline, and she's kind of trying to get her balance. She's on one leg. She's trying to get her balance to get back in bounds. And as she's on one leg, a little bit off balance, trying to get her balance, A'ja Wilson just comes in and knocks her over. Did A'ja Wilson hit her hard? No. Did A'ja Wilson hit her hard? No. But it's and the referees rightfully called a foul. And somehow, I mean this, somehow they challenged and won. They challenged and won.
By the fourth quarter, with the Fever already leading by 23 points, Indiana head coach Stephanie White had seen enough. The refs had been allowing questionable plays all game, giving Wilson every possible advantage while ignoring clear fouls against her players. When the officials continued their biased officiating, even in garbage time, White finally exploded. The veteran coach charged toward the nearest official, gesturing emphatically and demanding accountability for the calls that weren't being made. The referee, apparently tired of being called out for their incompetence, slapped White with a technical foul. But here's the beautiful part. Instead of backing down, White doubled down on her message. "I don't know about frustrations boiling over as more to just making a point," White said after the game. She wasn't just venting, she was making a statement that this kind of biased officiating wouldn't be tolerated anymore, and her players loved every second of it.
The technical foul late in the game, just frustrations kind of boiling over. It seemed like Caitlyn and the players got fired up and enjoyed it a little bit.
Yeah, well, I don't know about frustrations boiling over as more to just making a point. Caitlyn said she got me, though, so. She just got a bonus.
The moment that perfectly encapsulated this entire mess was Caitlyn Clark's reaction to her coach's technical foul. Despite being sidelined with a groin injury, Clark jumped out of her seat the instant the tech was called, clapping and cheering like her team had just won the championship. She immediately walked over to White and gave her a celebratory high five, making it clear that she was 100% behind her coach's decision to call out the refs. The cameras caught Clark mouthing "F yeah" while continuing to clap, showing the kind of passion and fire that makes her special. "Caitlyn said she's got me, though," White said with a grin. "She just got a bonus." The reference to Clark's Commissioner's Cup earnings showed just how united this team has become in the face of biased officiating.
Like I said, the referees were starting to get on the side of the Aces. They were trying to wheel the Aces back in. And Lexi stepped in and sort of killed it. Kelsey Mitchell never took her foot off the gas tonight, by the way. This is the best thing I've seen from Stephanie White all season long. Right here, she was aggravated by the refs already. And in the fourth quarter, 5:35 left, Stephanie White lost her shit on the sideline. She lost her shit. And let me just play this right here. Roll it.
Lost that lead late.
And you see her just losing it up here. Losing it. And she got teed up right there. And Caitlyn Clark loved it.
Despite all the referee favoritism toward Wilson and the Aces, the Indiana Fever refused to let corrupt officiating determine their fate. They came out with a defensive intensity that was absolutely suffocating, holding the Aces to just 26% shooting from the field. This wasn't just good defense, It was a statement that no amount of referee assistance was going to save Las Vegas. Kelsey Mitchell led the charge with 25 points, while Aaliyah Boston added 20 in a performance that showcased the Fever's depth and talent. The first half was particularly brutal for Las Vegas. After Wilson's hot start, the rest of the Aces managed just 2 of 18 shots, while committing 10 turnovers. The Fever built a commanding 46-24 halftime lead, with a 25-7 run to close the half, shooting an incredible 64% and missing only 2 shots in the second quarter.
They really put it on. Right here, you can see 24 points in the first half for the Aces. I mean, seriously, for the Aces. Points in the paint, 38-20. I mean, it was a dominant win by the Indiana Fever.
Las Vegas fans came into this game expecting a completely different outcome. With Caitlyn Clark sidelined and the Fever's recent struggles, many thought this would be the perfect opportunity for A'ja Wilson to put on a masterclass performance. Instead, they witnessed their supposedly elite team get absolutely embarrassed on both ends of the court. Wilson finished with 29 points on 9 of 18 shooting, but the rest of her teammates combined for just 25 points on 7 of 43 shooting. No other Aces player scored more than 6 points in one of the most lopsided team performances in recent memory. Even with all the favorable calls and free throw attempts, Wilson couldn't carry her team to victory. The Aces' offensive struggles were so severe that they managed just 54 points, their lowest total of the season. Their 17 turnovers and inability to create good shots exposed just how dependent they've become on favorable officiating to compete at the highest level.
A'ja Wilson, she got a favorable whistle in the second half, but it is what it is. Superstars get the whistle. Unless your name is, 29 points for A'ja Wilson, 3 boards, 3 personal fouls, 3 turnovers, 9 for 18 from the field, 11 for 13 from the free throw line. Look at the rest of her team. 2 points, 2 points, 2 points, 6 points, 0 points, 4 points, 2 points, 3 points. Dana Evans, 1 for 10. Dana Evans, oh my goodness. Aaliyah Nye, 1 for 5. Nalissa Smith, 1 for 6. Kirsten Bell, 1 for 3. Chelsea Gray, 1 for 3. Jewel Lloyd, 0 for 3. Jackie Young, 2 for 9. Put some respect on Kelsey Mitchell's name, folks.
What made this victory even more impressive was how the Fever's defense completely neutralized the Aces' offensive weapons. They held Las Vegas to just 3 of 16 shooting from three-point range while forcing those 17 turnovers. The defensive intensity was relentless, with players like Ayari McDonald recording a plus 26+/- rating. The Fever's ability to get stops led to easy offensive opportunities. With 13 assists on 18 first-half field goals, they outscored the Aces 28-10 in the paint during the first half, establishing physical dominance that continued throughout the game. Even when Las Vegas tried to rally in the third quarter, cutting the deficit to 13 points, the Fever had an immediate answer with 3-pointers from Lexi Hull and Kelsey Mitchell.
This defense is playing phenomenal. Oh my God, it's night and day. I think that Commissioner's Cup gave them swag. Now they're swagging it out. I never seen Natasha Howard so aggressive in my life. This girl is beasting now all suddenly. She is beast moding right now. And Timpson, the rookie, getting block shots, getting steals. Aaliyah Boston is just murking, destroying A'ja Wilson. I got a Wilson. I got a nickname for A'ja Wilson, guys. You know what it is? Whistle Wilson. Because this lady's always getting whistles. She's the person with the special whistle, guys. Every freaking time. And then she goes to the free throw line. Freaking free throw merchant. I think she's related to SGA. But anyway, she's not playing that great.
This wasn't just a regular season win, it was a statement that the Indiana Fever are no longer going to be victims of biased officiating. They proved that when a team plays with enough intensity and executes their game plan properly, no amount of referee favoritism can determine the outcome. The 27-point victory margin was the largest in the series between these teams in recent memory, and it came against a Las Vegas squad that had won 16 straight games against Indiana. Mitchell became the only remaining player from the last Fever team to beat the Aces in 2019, making this victory even more meaningful.
Boston, 20 points, 7 rebounds, 4 personal fouls, and I can tell you right now, 2 of those personal fouls were just Kathy Engelbert picking up the red phone at halftime and saying, yeah, get Aaliyah Boston in foul trouble. And the referee said, say no more, hung up the phone. We come out in the second half. We got a ticky-tack foul call on Aaliyah Boston there. Ticky-tack foul call on Aaliyah Boston there. Next thing you know, A'ja Wilson already in double digit when it comes to free throw attempts. But Aaliyah Boston, after sitting a majority of the third quarter, she came in the fourth quarter and she said, Nalissa, come get this work.
What we witnessed Thursday night represents everything wrong with WNBA officiating. The league has created a system where certain players receive preferential treatment, while others are held to different standards. The A'ja Wilson jump ball call was just the most blatant example of a problem that has been festering for years. Coach Stephanie White has been calling out this biased officiating all season, and she's been fined multiple times for speaking the truth. This victory moved them to 9-8 on the season and demonstrated the kind of defensive intensity that can carry them deep into the playoffs. The chemistry between Clark and Coach White, even with Clark on the bench, showed how unified this team has become. When Clark returns from injury, this Fever squad will be a legitimate championship contender with the attitude and toughness to overcome any obstacle.
Set the play, the referees just all of a sudden can't make the right calls. It is starting to look absolutely horrendous. It was getting so bad that Stephanie White actually picked up a technical foul, bro, for arguing with the refs. Now, Caitlyn Clark gave her a big round of applause for it, but guys, something has to be done. Now, Kathy has yet to address these problems. She has yet to address any issue that has been displayed with these damn WNBA referees.
The Indiana Fever's 81-54 demolition of the Las Vegas Aces exposed the ugly truth about WNBA officiating. Despite A'ja Wilson receiving preferential treatment throughout the game, including a ridiculous jump ball call that should have been an obvious foul, the Fever refused to let corrupt referees determine their fate. Stephanie White's technical foul and Caitlyn Clark's passionate reaction sent a clear message: this team won't be pushed around anymore. They've found their identity as a defensive-minded squad that can compete with anyone, regardless of how many favorable calls their opponents receive. The Fever's victory snapped a 16-game losing streak against the Aces and proved that talent and determination can overcome even the most biased officiating. As they continue their march toward the playoffs, one thing is clear: the Indiana Fever are no longer victims, and the rest of the league better take notice.